Alright guys, welcome back for another week of working on the sawmill shed here. So as I mentioned last week when I wrapped up, the place that I bought my metal roof from did not sell me enough screws. So for the moment I'm on hold with finishing off filling in the rest of the screws on there. Hopefully I should be picking up another bag of those tomorrow. So today, it's a really nice day out, so it'd be a shame not to do anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the track loader here up into the very backwoods up on the mountain there, and we're going to harvest us another poplar tree. And that will be for use on siding, as well as possibly some of the framing to kind of fill in between our main structural beams. So we've got all of our stuff loaded up into the bucket here. We're just going to take the standard bucket up here first. It's a whole lot easier to carry all the little odds and ends of stuff in that than in the grapple bucket. We'll go up, get stuff cut down, bucked to length, limbed and all that good stuff. Then we'll swap this out for the grapple bucket and work on hauling some of those logs down here to the sawmill. Alright, so we're back here in the backwoods now, and this tree right there is the one that we're going to take down. Now I was actually out here about, I guess it was a week or two ago now, and did a little bit of hiking around out here in the woods, and I like to fairly selectively pick the trees that I'm going to cut, and I base it off from two kind of criteria. One is how big it is, and two, is there anything wrong with it? Well, I gotta say, that was the singular worst notch I have ever done on a tree before. I'm not quite sure how I managed to do it quite the way I did it, but that was terrible. Alright, so we got the tree down now. Let's work on getting it limbed up. I forgot to bring a measuring device up with me, so I can't cut anything to length because I kind of forgot to bring that up, but we can at least get all the limbs chopped off from this. Alright, day 2 for this week. This morning I was out and about, ran some errands, and stopped by the roofing store, picked up another bag of screws. So we now have enough to finish off the roof. However, we are not going to work on that today because it's early afternoon already, and it's going to be mighty hot up there on the roof right now. It's clear blue skies today, and it is just, so we aren't going to work on that. We're going to pick up where we left off yesterday, and we're going to head up into the backwoods, and we're going to remember to take our tape measure up there so we can cut our tree into logs and work on hauling those down here to the mill. Also, I actually stopped out here earlier today, this morning, and I had the other truck with me, so I was able to move the equipment trailer out of the way, got that moved over there. So now we can actually get in front of the mill now, so that when we're ready to start milling up our siding and some of our framing lumber that we're going to use to fill in our gaps, we'll be able to get in there to do that. All right, so we got everything up here and ready to go. We've gotten our mark made right here where we're going to do our first cut. We're going to do it a little over 8 foot long, because this is a good size log and I don't want to cut something that's going to be a little too much for the track loader to carry. So we're just going to start at 8 foot, see how that goes, and then we'll see how long we want to make our further cuts. I guess that log didn't want to play nice with me, did it? That one didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to either. I've been trying to get a cut done on the downhill side of it, so that way I can finish cutting through it on the uphill side. But with that one, as you saw on the time lapse, I ended up having to finish it on the downhill side, and on this one, I was very, where'd it go? It's over there. I was being very careful with it because it looked like it was possibly going to start rolling once it broke loose, so I made sure to stay well off to the side once that one broke loose, and sure enough it decided to roll about 50 feet down the hill here. Okay, so we're going to cut one more 8 foot section out of this guy right at the end of this crotch right there. I'm not sure what we'll get out of this piece, if anything, because we definitely got some rot going in this crotch here. So I don't know, we'll cut it, we'll take it down there. If we can get something out of it, great, and if we can't, it'll make good firewood. Well, let's see if we got enough gas left in the saw tank to make one more cut here. Okay, so we got all of our logs over here. I tried making one more cut and got about 2 inches into the log, and that was all the gas that was left in the saw. I didn't bring any extra up with me because I don't want to have to carry anything in the grapple bucket, and there's only so much room inside of the cab. So we are going to start working on hauling these guys down to the mill. First off, we're going to just go ahead and move all of them to the other side of the MVP right away. That way we can just leave the gate open for a few minutes, get them all on the other side, and then we can shut the gate. That way if the cattle decide to come up here, we don't have to worry about opening and shutting the gate every time we come up to get one of these logs. All right, we got all of our logs down here that we've cut to length. We've still got, I don't know, a couple more probably up in the woods that are big enough diameter to use for milling. So we'll probably get those later this week sometime. We also had a little helper up here when I first got up here. Little fawn, I guess, yearling from this past spring. First thing we're gonna work on today is getting this final log out of here. We've got about one more piece of wood in this tree that's usable as a log. The rest of it, it'll just end up being firewood. So last week, I ended the video telling you that I was short the number of screws that I needed to finish the roof off with, right? I had one bag left, and I needed another half a bag. And so the plan for today was to go get the last log out of the woods, which we obviously have done. We're back down here at the sawmill shed. And then the second thing that I was going to do was finish filling in all the screws on the roof here. However, the end of last week, I had a couple boxes of stuff, you know, odds and ends, screws and nails and stuff that I was using here on the shed that I had to take out of the truck so I could fit in all my stuff for farmer's market. And that box did not get put back in the truck. So once again, I'm short a bag of screws to finish off the roof. I've got them, I just don't have them with me. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put in all the ones we've got, and I guess we'll just have to finish this next week. All right, we got the long side of the shed done. We've got maybe a couple dozen screws left in the pouch here. So we're gonna go ahead and start on the short side over here, use up those, see how far we get, and then we'll have to finish this up next week. Alright guys, that is going to about wrap it up for today. I'm still kind of kicking myself about forgetting that other bag of screws, but you know, it is what it is. So this is just all we're gonna get done for this week. Next week, with any luck, I'll remember the other bag and we can finish off the roof here for good. Also, I'm hoping to work on putting in some studs, filling in between our main posts on the shed here, get those in there. That way we'll have stuff to nail our siding to. If that goes really well, getting those put in, we might start on milling some siding as well. We may also have to mill some of these studs that we're gonna have to put in as well. I know I've got some 2x4 kind of stuff around. I'm not sure if I've got enough. So that's what we'll have in store for next week. That's gonna be it for this week and this video. As always, I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you guys next week.